Let me figure out what the hell we're supposed to be doing in this one. Hi, everyone. If you haven't met me before, I am Dana. I run the group AI Writing, Easy as Fuck for Authors, and the new plugin lab. And I have a new one actually that I'll be announcing tomorrow because I was having fun building that one. And it's all, and you don't have to be an author to join. But anyway, let me give you a little bit about me. And a little bit about my chaos is that I have been in marketing and I have run businesses for over 35 years. So I know how things work. Every one of my businesses has been successful for some strange, odd reason. We've been able to do that. I've usually worked with my husband, and I do work with him. He does create some of my codexes. His are a little bit more chaotic than mine. Just saying, I think that actually this past week, it's actually been kind of funny because I've had to fix his workflow a lot because it keeps wanting to do his as horror. And I don't know why, but if you guys have seen it before, you might know why. But one of the things that I got involved in a couple of years ago was writing with AI. My background is in computers. My background is also in software stuff. I'm the type of person that you give me a piece of software and usually within 10 minutes, I will be able to figure out at least the basics and give me a day. And I pretty much can decode the whole thing of how it works. It's a weird superpower, but I do consider it a superpower because I just want the cape. But it's fun for me. It works for me. People do weird hobbies. This is kind of what I do. I'm not really sure how to stop my brain from doing it. If anyone has a clue on that one, I would appreciate it. But I was told, hey, have you looked at Claude co-work? And I had broken up with Claude. Claude and I were not friends at the time. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. I had started playing with the anti-gravity. Well, then within 2 weeks, anti-gravity had decided it wanted to go off the deep end with a lot of different things, and it wasn't doing what I asked it to do. And I went ahead and decided to try Claude. So I am currently all in on Claude. Everyone say hi to Bugsy in the background. I was all excited that this was going to be on my couch and comfortable. But I went all in on Claude once it started actually working. Now, what you have to understand about Claude is it is in beta, which means that it is being tested by the millions of people that are paying the money to test it for them. We are the ones that are loading it. We're the ones that are making it do whatever it needs to do. So that's why today there were 3 updates. Last week, there were 26. The week before that, there were, I think I stopped counting at 22. So you kind of get the idea. So it's not a perfect system, but it's growing. And I think that AI is growing that fast that we do have to be involved in it. And it does need this many updates because they're processing this information in real time. So for my sanity, just to let you all know and to remind you all that when I do build plugins and other things, I only do updates on Mondays. And that is because it's given it the weekend. They've tested it. Usually there's an update Monday morning when I wake up and I start working at around 5:30 in the morning. And I can go ahead and run. I actually have skills that go out and update everything. It helps. It doesn't upload it everywhere, but at least it makes sure that every one of them is fixed. Now, my desktop, like I said, does not have all of these. So what we're going to do tonight, though, is we are going to play with a plugin. We're going to start with an outline, and then we're going to write chapter 1. So what I need, you guys are going to watch this in real time. This is not something I've pre-recorded, as you can see, because this is not my couch, and this is not where I planned on sitting today. And so we're going to see how this works, and you guys get to pick the genre. And if you have questions, because there will be a lot of in-between pieces during this, because it's not instant. Now, so feel free to post it in the chat. All right, we have one for Lit RPG. Oh, you're going to make me go all out, aren't you? All right. Anyone else? Romance, that's a given on anyone. I kind of like Marina's one because that's superhero. Oh my gosh, Jacob, where's the superhero? Have you been reading the Dungeon Crawler series? I mean, that's the superhero lit RPG if I've ever seen one. All right. I kind of like the lit RPG because that's a different one. I'm not doing a cozy alien, Renee. Good Lord. Cozy mystery theater. We do a lot of those. Pretty much a lot of these are pretty simple. Because the plugins make them simple. But let me see what I actually, okay, I'm going to back up a little bit here and I'm going to see what I actually have because right now it's trying to install everything. So I'm actually going to stop it from working. Give me a second here. All right. No one said Mafia. Huh. Y'all are interesting. I kind of like the lit RPG though. All right. Hold on one second and you guys get to see. I will, trust me, you guys will get in here in just a second. Lit RPG class. Yeah, I get tired of doing all the spicy stuff. So hold on one second. Let's figure out how to share the screen. I want to share a window. We're going to share Claude. Lit RPG was actually spoken first. So we're going to go there first. Lit RPG. Think it is literature and a role-playing game. I'm sitting here right next to my laptop, which is a gaming laptop. It might end up being one to run a thing, but think of it as a game, multiplayer game. Think of it as something that really, Brian, I do like it though. I like the demon thing. So I'm starting a new project specifically for this one. Now, if you've ever seen any of my other ones, just to give you a heads up, and we're going to do lit RPG only because it's a little bit different. And I think that in the very first free class that you guys can see with me, it's free inside the group, inside the classroom. It actually does have me doing a romance one when we first started all this shit. So this one's just kind of different. And it's not something that I would usually do. So why not do it? But in my main computer that I use all the time, every project is a pen name. Today we're doing a new project with the Lit RPG class. So we're going to do that and create it. Now, I now need to find the plugin for that. So give me a second here. So in case you have done this, you can see over here, review and fix plugin validation. That was me trying to get everything set up all of a sudden within the class. And let's customize. Let's add, create a plugin, upload a plugin, and let's see if we can find it to work. All right. Where is lit? I can't find this dang thing half the time anyway. Nope, it's not finding it there. So let's look further out. I might not be able to do it because of this. Hold on. I saw one. Okay. So we're going to do a cozy fantasy lit RPG. That's the writer. It, over here in the left menu, or where are you talking about? Now let's see. I need to do. I didn't see cozy. It didn't have the outline. Those are all the author. Oops. Oh, it doesn't have that one. Hmm. Hmm. Actually, let's back out. We might not be able to do it just because I don't think I have all the things. Oh, wait, there's the author. No, that's Cozy Fantasy. I don't think I've done it yet. Is it on the website? I'm going to look while we do that. Hold on one second. Which one are you talking about? What's the concept of what's in the left menu? That's the progress. It is. It is the progress. I'm looking really quickly to see if I've got it on the website. It's just not released yet. Cozy Mystery. There's the writer. Cozy Fantasy. Oh, it's the Cozy Fantasy outline. Okay, so those who are wanted to do it, this is the Cozy Fantasy outline. So hold on. Author. That's 1.01. Yeah, okay. We'll upload this one and see if it works. Nope. See, look, plugin validations. Yes, those are the things I've worked on in the past. Let me see. Y'all picked one, of course, that I don't have. So let's go into Cozy Fantasy. Nope. Cozy. Ah. Yeah, so Claude is very different than chat in the way that it works. And believe it or not, I will actually do, I use chat for marketing. Chat, I think, is, come on. I just had you. God. Projects. Oh, just show me all of them. Thank you. Guys, you can ask questions as I find stuff. Like I said, my other thing has all of it on there, so it's really kind of funny that you ask for the one thing that's like not right there. I think that's, yeah. Fix this plugin. This is honestly what I do. So actually, I used to use chat for nonfiction. It was very nice. It worked very well. I used to actually, my first 3 books that I did 3 years ago were done with chat. But I dictated everything that I wanted, and then it cleaned it all up and made it sound like chat. But if I go back to it, but they were all actually dictated for what I wanted. So all of these type of plugins, like you can see, the validation, it doesn't always work. It's going to have issues. It's going to rename itself 50 million times. Validation actually is in the naming of it. And that's not calling it Cozy Fantasy Outline version 1.0.1. No, it has to do with some naming system inside of it that it reads. So if you've looked at other things, you might have seen, validation error. I want to know how we're going to have a demon possess something now. Now, as you can see, I have something that does create the cowork plugin. This is probably not the most up-to-date one. We want the cat to be demonic. Okay, we can do that. I have that. I have Devil Cat. Actually, Devil Cat has a whole book to himself in one of my series. He has we did a whole reader magnet thing with Devil Cat. It's a lot of fun. So this is actually one of the ways that I go through and fix them. It's not very exciting because it's going to read it. So the save the cat moment is saving the cat. Okay. We can make all sorts of stuff up. Yes, this one, I have all of the plugins installed on my laptop. My desktop is usually technically running other skills 24 hours a day. It's doing other things for me. It does research. It does just things that the computer needs to be on. It has a schedule. So I don't do any writing on this one at all. So see, it's going to tell me that they don't like the quotes. So it's going to fix it. But yes, this is what happens with all of them. The description is different than when I built this one. But once you have it installed on your system, you don't have to worry about it. It's done. So it's just the fact that it hasn't installed on the system. And what's funny is at the exact same time that I made this one, I made the writing one, which installed. So don't ask me its logic. I don't know because I always make them in pairs, but I don't make any of them on this machine. And chat here will go from one machine to the other. Like now it's telling you that Sonnet 4.5 will no longer be available. These are the ones that you're going to have. But this goes back and forth like this. I have my system here and my laptop here. My gaming laptop, it's a little bit small to run local LLMs, but I'm going to try to do it because I'm not playing any games on it right now. So while you go over there, you can go over and do a whole bunch of things. You can do, then it gives me this save skill. There. Then I'll refix it this weekend. Don't ask me. It's just what I do. All right. So now that that's done, let's go to our projects. We're going to, let's see. When you look at the different skills, okay, you can do that and it's going to give you these, but this is actually old. They're trying to, I think, do away with it. I'm not sure why, but I did see that they're going to do away with it. So we have, where did the outline go? That's the writer. Okay, it did 2 writers. Cozy fantasy outline. Okay. They're going to do away with the slash, is what I heard in a rumor. So for commands, and I'll be pissed because I can't remember half the stuff I do. We need a cozy fantasy lit RPG with a demonic possessed cat. as the cat's a villain. Is cat a villain? Yeah. Plus, and I copied and pasted Marina's thing. So this is what it's doing. It's going to start. How would you like your output delivered? This was a new thing. Why? Because Markdown, which is A, is cheaper than using B or C because of the skills that are involved in it. So if you guys want to save a little bit of your tokens, which totally makes sense, okay? I have a ton of tokens, but I actually have 24 hours before it goes. I have 24 hours before my weekly reset, and I'm like at 80%. And I actually hit and I'm on the $200 plan, and I hit my thing twice this week, and it ate into. It's a good thing that I had like whatever. Yes. So that's what I do. So Jason said that he just learned about the slash thing, but you can also type in run the cozy fantasy outline skill, and it will do it. So I do the slash because I search to figure out which ones I want to do. So we're going to do A just because I'm going to make it will probably run a little bit faster that way. And you guys don't need to see all this stuff over here. That's whatever. This I like to show the progress. We'll make the screen bigger because bigger is better on these things to see. But yes, you can also always say that. It's also in the README files if you really want to get technical. I've debated making a cheat sheet, but I'm not sure. What do we want? How crunchy should it be? So yes, a demon-possessed cat. Heroes trying a skill to fight demons. 3, we want crunchy. Okay. Jacob's first, so he gets that. How important? I want it to be central. Sorry, you guys don't get a vote in that one. Because I love dungeon crawling. I think it's so much fun. Do we have the Dungeon Delver Adventurer going, or which one? This one I'll let you vote. Well, if the person's trying to get a skill, what do you think? So we have the cook was first. No, Jacob was first with the shopkeeper merchant. So he gets that one. You guys got to be fast. No. All right. Romance subplot, yes or no? All right, we got too many ones. Sorry, Marina, you're out. You could have made it a little bit different, but it's cozy, so we're not going to go. You can kind of see that that's what it does. I'm not personally big onto all romance subplots, but that's okay. I just like to kill things sometimes. But you can see over here the progress of what it's going to do. I will say that it does not always check those things off, which kind of annoys me. We're going to do a novel, and we'll do book 1 of a series. Because everyone wants to know about series, and I think series are important. Okay, they've got it, but I'm not going to. We're going to use defaults. If you have Klytics, which I do, but I'm just not going to go out and search for it because we had a little bit of a time issue with the other thing, and I want questions to be asked and everything else. But Klytics does do it. You can click on the link and download it, but I do have it somewhere. But we're just going to use defaults. So usually what it does on mine, it will actually, on my laptop, it actually goes out and looks at my drive. There's always a new K-Lytics report out. I didn't look today though. I haven't looked today because I was building the other thing. Well, I was putting it all up on school. It's been in my brain for like weeks to build. So I had the whole concept built, except for the name. I couldn't figure out the name. But there's a whole lot of stuff that you can do with this stuff. You can have it do a standalone. You can have it do whatever. And they all kind of work together. They are all based with the same, the outline and the writers are all based on the same thing, except the fact that they each have different, I'm so tired of hockey romance. They have different guardrails. Each outline, each author skill, each writing skill will have a different outline built into it, or guardrails built in. So now it's going to come up with 5 story ideas. All right. I might read faster than you guys, so I'll be scrolling slowly. It's actually kind of neat. An inventory demon. What the hell's an inventory demon? Niblet. Yes, I know. It's a cat. I haven't read them all yet. Bound in Spice. If you guys see one that you like as I go, I can't make this thing smaller. If I make it smaller, then we can't. It won't. It will close the thingy. So the question is, if you have a series now and want to do a prequel, there's actually a reader magnet thing that's coming out that does it better than any of these will. But what I do is I feed them in. Does your plugin have anything to shy away from common themes? Yes. But that has to do with the K-Lytics report. Well, the role play RPG is going to be stuff like it's got the specialization. It's going to have the stats that they get. I think that they showed stats on one of them. Combat skill, a hybrid crafting combat skill. This one is cozy, but it does have the other features in it. And you can always tell it, focus more with the stats or show more of the stats on the information. I think that I kind of want to do idea. You're drawn to 3 and 4. I didn't really read 4. Well, 5's here too. Hold on. That's a time eater demon. Ooh. Yeah, I kind of like the time eater. I want this one. I like the time eater. That's kind of cool. So since idea 5 was not listed for some strange odd reason, yes, these will be in your chat. And I will also save the other ideas for later. Now you also see in here that you do not have Marcus Chen listed. That is because there are names that I have put into all of the outline builders, and in the writers to please don't come up with the standard AI names. Now, granted, it doesn't always do that, but I think Marcus Chen needed to be retired for a little bit, and we need to move on. Like Alistair Finch needs to really get a new job than being some old, skinny old dude. These type of things, it just needed to change. So I did put anti-AI names in here. It's not perfect because, as you can see, the first one had the name Hollow, and Hollow was there. So it's not perfect. It's an AI. Yeah, Voss is there. I haven't put Voss in my list yet because he hasn't come out on me yet. So future you or future me in a new session can pull him back up next Demon Cat book or use a reserve idea. So you can come back and do a new Demon Cat book, which actually in its own way could be a series. When I did novellas with the dark male, none of them are related. So yeah. So when her father's cat starts collecting on demonic debts, a small town clockmaker has to learn the merchant class skill that lets her negotiate with hell itself before the next creditor comes through her door. Awesome. Yeah, I like this one. This one's gonna be fun. See, we've got the skills here. The demon repossessor skill. She has to learn it. And this is where we go here. Like Marina wanted it more lit RPG forward. So we want that. We just paste that. And it's going to redo it for you. That's where you tell it, add a couple things, delete a couple things. This is version 2. And there you go. You've got more of the stuff with the lit RPG. Cozy lit RPG doesn't have as much of the lit RPG parts in it. Honestly, I don't know. The question is, how much usage would it take? Not, I can do the entire book in one sitting. Hey, without a problem. And it barely touches my usage. But again, the I've got the max plan. I've got the $200 plan. Plus, I have extra, so I don't really worry about it. Hold on. Come here. Oh, there. Hi, buds. All right. So I have a lot. Um, some people though, they'll leave it and then they'll come back. No, I like this. Let's approve. Continue. Like I think my daughter was using it and it in the middle of writing. Now she made it all the way through here, and it's always going to depend on how much you change. Like if you edit everything, then of course you're going to have issues and you're going to run into more usage. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll run the entire thing. I do this a lot. I run the entire thing through the entire system and I just say go for it and I'll find it. I'll deal with everything later, right? And then I'll come back and I'll edit stuff I need to edit. Because for me to write it, it's going to go like I did that with a book this past week, and I had it write the entire book because I got tired of telling it what to do. So then what I did was I created something that said, this is what I want it to do. It was more about the voice on this one. So I said, can you please fix the entire book with this? And it did. And it's so much better. So sometimes I'll do that. At this stage, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at names. I'm looking at, is it going to work for me? Maybe I want them to be more sarcastic. I don't know. If you read any of my books, almost all of my females are very sarcastic and almost kind of bitchy sometimes. It's just what I've done. So if I like this, this tells you her starting skill set. At the end of book 1, it also tells you where she's going to be. So if you are not a plotter like me, yes, it can add emotions depending on what you want. Absolutely. If you ask and develop what you want and ask it to do certain things, yes, it can absolutely do all of it. I'm terrible with people talking back and forth. Yeah, sometimes it will do literary BS and sometimes it doesn't. The voice one will really help with it. Don't turn on. So the other thing, Rebecca just asks, will it remember where you are? Yes, it will. It will actually continue going. Just do not close Claude out. Of course, granted, I closed Claude completely out today on my laptop when I realized it wasn't charging, and it went ahead and did this. I mean, it stopped everything and then came back. When I opened it back up, it just started everything back right where it was. I hear that the translation one is, don't do that, because it will put stuff in English all of a sudden in the middle of your German translation. So those type of things, the ones that are going to run a little bit longer and a little bit more involved, don't let it go to sleep. There is a new voice plugin. Yes, it is on the web. It's already on in the group. I'll be curious if I can see it on this one, because for some reason, some people haven't been able to see it. I can't see it on my phone, but I can see it on my laptop. So I really don't know how to fix it. Let's move on. Continue. I do like his name too. Brass Button and Sipple. Because it's not like, he's not just whatever. So yeah, there is a new, let me see something while this builds. You guys watch that. I see it in this one. I can see it on my desktop. If you're on a phone, you might not see it. I do not know. That's all I can tell you. I can see it on this laptop, and this laptop has not been anywhere. It's right underneath the book translators for authors. It's got a little new thing and it says the author voice profiler. I cannot though see it on my phone at all. Yeah, it's very strange at the moment. I haven't figured that one out. I like how it's adding the little emojis. I read Domestic as demonic. I'm not a cat person, so I think all cats are demonic, which is why mine has a. Now, one of the things that you want to do, by the way, when you do have, going back to emotion, make sure that you have their personality put in there. Your people need personality. So, here's his communication style. I don't know if they had one up here for her. Yeah, voice and speech patterns. Make sure that they have it. I have a cat. I didn't want the cat. I don't know why people don't see it. I really don't, because it is there. So I might go ahead and put the link in. Like I sent it over to, Yeah, I think that you have to re-expand it. If you expanded it before, try re-expanding it, like close it down, the business tools. All right. We're going to continue on. Now this is the relationship between the cat, bond evolution triggered. So familiar class spot is now permanent. No, let's move. Let's continue. Yeah, I think that you have to click it again to re-expand it. So now it's creating the party. Yeah, I like school. I hate school. So we're just going with that. I can't create this type of environment in any other program without a lot of extra work, and I didn't want to do that. So whatever. So we have the party roster, and I'm going to go through some of this a little bit quickly, but you can see it creates all the characters. I like the defrocked priestess. That's kind of funny. Order the quiet door. Yeah, okay. Okay. And when it finishes this, we are just going to continue on, but it will build everything here. Right now it's creating the whole party. Next is going to be world building. Then it says adventure progression arc, found family arc, romance arc, detailed chapter outline, and then the epilogue selection. Now, I'll tell you right now, I've been rebuilding and working with my N8N workflows, which do all of this without any input from me. Um, and to do all of this, it was 198 separate little steps in between for each little piece. So to give you an idea of what these things do, it is not just spitting out anything, it's doing this whole thing. Um, so yeah, Yeah, you can do logic checks after each check. The writing one that I have is supposed to go back and look at the previous chapter to make sure and look back at the outline to make sure that it is still following the outline. Again, it's AI. It does not always work. So sometimes I will tell it to please do that. No, let's continue. So it does a lot of different pieces and it's a lot of different parts. I didn't realize that all of my thinking was that many individual steps, but Claude told me I had to break it down into totally different steps. So apparently, building worlds is a lot. I mean, I just say build a world, and it's like, no, you can't just do that. Nope. This is all within the outline plugin. All of these things are there. This is walking you through every single thing that it's doing. And if you want to change any piece of it, it will do it. I'll actually have to read back through all of this. See, so this one here is not cozy. And it's going to build your magic system in here because it's a magic system. Because you have role-playing game. For those who aren't familiar, if you look into Dungeons and Dragons at all, that is exactly what this is. And believe it or not, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't know, this is a weird trivia fact in case it ever comes up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a role-playing game at first. So I played it in the late 80s, mid 80s, I don't know, somewhere in the 80s. Before it was on TV and 50 million different things, and all the kids needed to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I didn't have the bedsheet sets. Okay. Continue. Now, see here, this is where you're going to go after any of these. If you don't like it, tell it you don't like it, and it will redo it. And that's where you're going to get more of your story in there. And then when you're ready for it, or just tell it, I don't like that. This is here. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I want this to be this. So talk to it. It will change everything in it. You do not have to continue every single time. Not everyone likes to continue every single time. There's no one at the door. There's no one there. I really Exciting incident. All right. This is the progression arc. It's going to tell you what goes from each thing to each thing. Now, if you're doing something like a mystery, this is going to be where all the red herrings and all the clues and everything are going to be in this arc. So pay attention to it when you're doing it. Pay attention to it when you're doing a mystery. He's going to drive me insane. Hold on one second. I am going to walk away while this is doing the next piece. But like I said, this is what you want to pay attention to actually while it's still writing. So hold on one second. Okay, so now we have all of that. Yay! And it's got all the different dungeons and it's got all the different levels and it's got all of that. And it wants to know, do you want to do, it's got all of these different pieces. Like I said, if you're working on a mystery, then it does the next thing. So continue. The hobbits had second breakfast, I think it was, and my dog wants second dinner. So I actually I do divide it up, and he was letting me know that he hadn't eaten his second dinner yet. Found family in this stuff? Yeah, he's an adorable hobbit. He's an asshole, but that's okay. I love my little asshole. He's actually been pretty awesome lately. He's gotten mad at me this past week. So Joe's not here. He's in South Carolina right now, and I'm not going up there for another couple weeks. And he got mad at me because I went out and I did stuff like all day one day, and he refused to leave my bed. He refused to leave it. And usually he sleeps in a crate. So it was really kind of funny. I was like, okay, well, then I guess you're not moving. So yeah, you had the friction here. The reveal that changes everything. That's in chapter 22 and chapter 21. Okay. For the sacrifice for the group, you need a sacrifice. Traveling together. These are my people. You need that. So here's your trust level. You can see this thing is planning it out where everything is supposed to be. Again, if you're doing this with a mystery, it's the same thing. So pay attention to it. I think that a lot of people, someone was talking to me and they said something. I said, well, did you look to see about these pieces? And they hadn't even looked at it. They just said go. And so they didn't pay attention to what was there and what was written and just told it to go, because sometimes I do that, but I go back and fix. So I'm preparing myself to go back and fix. No, we're just going to go. Let's do the romance arc. And see, it crosses off everything, which is very helpful and it's very nice, but it doesn't always do it. So don't count on that. I don't know why it doesn't always do it, but it doesn't always do it. Yes. So the question is, so you suggest read the outline it's producing and tell you what it wants. I suggest you first have to pay attention to this. This whole part here, this is your world building. This is the arcs that are going to be happening within the book. If you aren't paying attention to this stuff, your outline's not going to be what you want. So if I was to go back here and look at these pieces, and it will put it all inside of documents. It will put it all as markdown documents. Yes, it's so much easier to go here and say, I don't want romantic awareness here, blah, 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 blah. Like one of mine, it had them dating at the end of book 1. There's 10 books in the series. That didn't make any sense to me. So it was like, oops, sorry, that's because I didn't pay attention when I was doing this part. So if you do this part and you pay attention where everything is, this is part of your work. This is why this is not click and go. If it is click and go, then it's not always what you want. And then that's where the errors are going to happen. That's where the things that you don't like are going to end up happening. And that's where people will get frustrated. So with romance in it, and this is with any type of romance, you don't want just, oh, they see each other and it's like instant love. No, you have to build the relationship and what it's doing and all the different pieces and parts to it as well. It's a lot more than just, yeah, they like each other and they end up at the end of the book. That's not how it works. There's got to be pieces and parts built into it. So this is where it's showing you all of these things. Yes, sometimes it is great when they hate each other first. I do a lot of that. So this one ends the first book with one kiss, and that's it. That's all that happened. It's just a cozy lit, you know, the concept on this one is cozy lit first, romance is subplot. You can have it reversed by doing a romance outline with cozy fantasy lit RPG in the background. So you can do it reversed. You have to let it know at the very beginning to do it reversed, and it will. It'd be kind of a strange book, but it would work. You can do it. So it tells you each. I like the little emojis. This makes me happy. Um, so it's there. It's there. I like how it did it too. Look, it planted it. Oh, that's so cute. Sorry, I had never seen it do that before. Mine doesn't do that on my screen. I think it just likes me now. So what this sets up for book 2 is this. And continue. Because you maybe in book, we're not worried about book 2 yet, but maybe in book 2 we want to go ahead and do they have their falling out type thing in book 2, like a big falling out at the beginning of whatever. So you could do whatever. Again, it's your book. It's not Claude's book. It's your book. So tell it what you want. If you don't tell it what you want, and 9 times out of 10, that's what I spend half my time doing, is telling it what I want. So that when it does go and write the book, it sure as hell knows what the heck it's supposed to be doing, because I've sat there and told it what to do a lot. So when it falls off the beaten path, I can say, you screwed up, and it will go and fix it. So, but this is what a chapter looks like. You have the point of view. You have seam tags. You have progression beat. You have all of this stuff built in it. The romantic beat, chapter tone. What does it feel like? The goal. What is it going to do? The complication. What is the problem? What is the decision and what is the consequence? This is for every book, every outline that is with any of the outline things. It's going to do that. It's going to take that and it's going to go ahead and build all of these things in here. Why do you want all of this stuff? Because if you have all of this stuff and say you only use the outline or whatever, and you decide to take it over into Novel Crafter to write because you want that chapter by chapter feel, which, remember, that's how I started. So that's how I built all these things. But I would take this and build my beats from this specific. So it knows, okay, this is the summary of it, but this is where I need to go from this to this to this to this. And it looks at all of the different pieces that are in here and refers back to your story Bible or your world building. So it continues and does the whole thing, and it does it in different acts, so you kind of know where you're at. And also pay attention, because sometimes he gets bored. And I'm not talking about my dog, I'm talking about Claude. And he will truncate some of this. So he'll shorten some of the stuff out. Hopefully it doesn't happen during the plugins. I can never promise anything. I can promise you that they worked when I built them, and I fix as much as I possibly can. And if it doesn't make, he's barking at himself now. But pay attention to this. Like, say if I didn't like chapter 20, copy and change it. This is where you are changing everything that you want written in this book if you are having it write the book. It is not just it's not just what Claude wants. And I need to reemphasize that a lot because it's funny. So for the first time ever, I started advertising this stuff, right? And everyone seems to think that it's push a button and go. And it is not push a button and go. Even the ones that I have that go through 198 nodes to go from beginning to end of doing all of this and then writing all of the chapters, then going through the editing, they are not ready to go and be published. And that I think is blowing people, that blows people's minds. I'm like, no, it went through 9 things of editing, but it's still not perfect yet. It's still not yours. And people will look at it and they think it's close, but it's not just there yet. And you do need to go back through it. So like even I sell them as first drafts, and guys, those things go through 9 things of editing. So it's not perfect. And I'm actually designing it to do a whole nother, I think I added 32 steps in it to do another round of editing with a different beta reader. So I mean it's not, these are not just push and go. And that's what I think a lot of people think that they are. And yeah, it's not. You have to always do some sort of tweaks to it. You always have to pay attention to what's going on with any of this stuff. It's never perfect. So this tells you exactly what it's going to do, the ratio tracker and all of that, all of the different skill sets. I believe that is, yes, progression beats. And it goes through and it tells you target was 30%, should be cozy primary chapters. And I'm going to approve. And we want an epilogue that ends in a cliffhanger so that they buy book 2. That's my personal preference and how I would prefer. And that's what makes me, as a whale reader, click and need to read the next one. So it gives you some options. And then you pick the option or you tell it you want new ones. No, I don't like that because there's no. That's a new quest. Where does it get its recommendation? It's just picking one. Create a better cliffhanger. I want a better cliffhanger. But 9 times out of 10, I don't like its recommendations on which one. You can also combine them. Like I like 1 and 2, or I like 2 and 3, or I like 1 and 3. And it will combine them, and it will also tell you it's an amazing choice. So the question is when you update skills, if we have earlier versions, do we get the updates? You're always welcome to download the updates. However, you don't always need it. Mostly when I'm updating them, it's doing the validation naming thing. You don't need to update because of that. You already have it installed on your system. You do not need an update at that point. What you need is when I add languages to the translator. When I do a major update, I will let you know. Otherwise, don't bother unless you're having a real issue with it. Let's see. I kind of like that one, but okay. After the vault. Yeah, I agree. Claude is lazy and he will be very lazy. No, I don't like that one. No, I like this one. Sorry. I didn't even need to read that one. I like the fact that he said burn it all down. Someone is alive. Bennick, however, does not want to be saved. He is also not free, except yes or no. So don't come for me, burn the audit halls, burn it all. And so I kind of like that line. So that's the only reason why I picked it. So it's going to save everything. It's done. And now it wrote the final chapter with the cliffhanger, series teaser. Now it's going to click everything. Yep. Or push the outline through the series creator. There you go. So those who have been asking me about, can you do it with an outline? You can absolutely do it. Let's write the book with the right. Let's write the book. So it's going to think. And oh, we want everything. Give me the documents as well. They should be there. Yeah, it's going to see. I have a different one done. So I want single doc, chapter by chapter. Yes, full pipeline. So mine is set up for something different that I was writing at some point. I actually had it write it when I was I had it do a whole thing. So it's not doing all five. I knew I had something in there for that. I couldn't remember. But yes, I do have a cozy fantasy mini lit, light on the lit. So I'm having it do chapter by chapter. Usually I do not do chapter by chapter. That is me. And it's creating all the wonderful tasks it needs to do. As you can see, I'm staying already in the same chat. You don't have to. I do. So it's kind of It's building the outline document here. It's going to set up the manuscript shell. And it's going to write chapter 1. And that's how I'm going to continue doing it. At the very end of it, it's going to do the editorial pipeline, which does the beta reader. It does the developmental edit. It's pretty much the Manuscript Editor Pro miniaturized. If I was to do that, I would bring the actual outline documents. But if I'm doing it inside of the same project, it will be able to see and read what was already done. So that's how I would do that part. I mean, don't leave the project, but you can definitely move to a new chat. It can bring, you have to tell it to please look at this chat, because for some reason this Claude does not like, if I'm working in Chat GPT, it likes to look at everything. Oh no, I can go all the way. I can sit here and I can go over here and I can do, let's see, build Notion creative templates. By the way, I didn't like Notion. I am into the Airtable and I'm working on that class. I did not like working in Notion. It pissed me off. So I won't, someone else can do that. I have TikTok content creating. I have all sorts of different things that I've worked on over here. Some of them are worked in Dispatch, so I work from my phone onto this computer, which is why I leave this one here. But yeah, you can do everything. It doesn't really care. Those are all Dispatch. If you don't know what Dispatch is if I leave this computer on 24/7, I can use my phone in Claude, and there is this cute little thing that says Dispatch in here as one of the choices. I don't know if you guys can see it. Got Dispatch there, and you do Dispatch, and it will talk to this computer, and I can pick it up the next day. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. There's a lot. I do that a lot when I want it to run certain tasks and research projects that I think of in the middle of the night. I'll go on Dispatch and I'll have this computer actually do it. So it's also creating your A+ content stuff that it wants you to think about. It doesn't want to show me all that stuff. But the KDP metadata document is actually pretty cool. I don't use all of it. Some of it I'll bring over into chat. I do think chat is better for marketing. In all of my pipelines, all of my marketing stuff is done with whatever version of chat is available for me. I just think it's better. Plus, for some reason, Claude doesn't seem to understand what the difference is between some of the KDP categories for ebooks versus regular books, and it doesn't seem to pay attention to that. So it gets kind of confused, and then it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And no, it's not, because it does the same thing the next time. So I don't know on that one. Chat seems to be able to figure it out and understands and knows the difference. So go figure. No, it's never really sorry. It's like such a fake sorry thing. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. No, you're not. And then it tries to tell me I'm wrong. And I'm like, no, we just did it. Like, I've been having it build my websites for me on WordPress because I don't feel like it. And it's like, I can't do that. I'm like, yes, you can. You just did it for this one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. It's like such a token waster, which really kind of irritates me to have to argue with it back and forth. But it really is. I think that it's honestly, it's a token waster, and I want my tokens back, which is why I think it keeps giving me like the 30-40% off. I think, yeah, I got 40% off for additional um, time, one time. So I totally took that. We won't discuss how much extra usage I have on this one, which is why I want to see if I can do at least smaller stuff on my laptop running a local LLM system. Oh my goodness, come on. This doesn't take this long. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it would give you a number for counseling if you tell it that. But yes, there are moments like this. Oh, absolutely. It should take you a couple hours, probably. You might like everything that it says. It might change if you have the K-lytics reports. I'm being quite honest there. I think K-lytics reports are amazing. So, especially for right to market. Yeah, it breaks my rules all the time. Um, yes and no on the word count thing. Mine seems to go over the word count. It's very rare that it goes under the word count at the moment, but it only goes by a certain amount. Um, it's usually a 10% either way. Yeah, mine goes over. When I'm using all of my skills and stuff like that, most of the time it goes over. But that's because I tell it to go back and check. Um, you have to tell it to stay consistent with the word count. Like you have to let it know to check the word count. And if you have word count guardrails in there, it will do that. Yeah, they're all different. I still prefer 4.7. Now I do like if I'm doing a rom-com, I like Sonnet 4.6. As you saw earlier, 4.5 is going to be gone. So I'll deal with 4.6. Yeah, but sometimes Jason's not worried about word counts because the editor pro will expand and reduce where needed. Yes and no. I've had it write 400 words in an entire chapter. And then instead, what it did was it just deleted my whole chapter and it just kind of bounced from one thing to the next. And I was like, no, that doesn't work. It didn't work smoothly. So, yes and no on that one. It's not perfect, but yeah, it can expand and delete, and that can be a mess, which is why I usually add in, I'll tell it to set guardrails for the word count. We have like it's set up here. What did it say? Yeah, 65,000 words. So that's about 2,000 words per chapter, give or take. And that's what you want to do. Um, Usually right around this point, I'll just say, make sure to set it, like I can type in here, make sure to set guardrails for writing the chapters to achieve the goal of 65,000 words. Oops, that would be way too many if I added that. Yeah, well, all because the codex and outline already have it. It's like, you guys have probably heard this like 50 million times, guys. It's, you're talking to a toddler. If I tell it one thing once, like if I tell my grandson that we need to leave in 10 minutes, so I need him to go get his jacket on, socks and shoes on, and go get his backpack with whatever he needs in it, right? And I tell him that. How many want to bet that one of those things is going to be ignored? So that's why guardrails are added along the way. Like even within the skill set, certain guardrails can be put in. But if I put so many guardrails into the skill, it won't necessarily work all the time. And it won't always, one thing might override another. And so that's where it kind of gets a little bit messy, if that makes sense to people. And it's just, again, it's a learning process. And I guarantee you, your Claude might be different than my Claude. And I swear, and I need to check this out at some point, but I think that every person has a different type of Claude, or they have a certain number of people have a certain level of Claude or have certain restrictions on it or whatever. I don't think everyone has the exact same Claude. And I don't know if that's like, as a former software builder, having one beta tester wouldn't work. You need to have different versions of for beta testing. So I guarantee you there's different versions out there. You can do whatever you want. You can put it to Grok to check out. I do not use Grok. I do not like it. I have issues with it, but that's just me. Claude is stingy, okay? And I really think, like, Chad loves me. Chad absolutely loves me, and he loves it when I come in and we talk and we brainstorm and everything else. He gets so excited. And then all of a sudden he's going to, there we go. So it added this. Guardrails will help keep us on track. So he thinks I'm smart now, so whatever. And he kind of did math, so I'm impressed. He used to not be able to do math. But so since Chat loves me, okay, this is really bad. I consider Claude more like my mother, who is very rigid in what she wanted and how things were to be done. And this to this to this to this to this. Very specific to do certain things. And Claude is, well, Chat is just me. It's just like so freaking chaotic. It's ridiculous. But that sort of thing. And so it's discussing things with two totally different entities who might be similar, but we're definitely not the same. When my mother passed away, I moved down to Florida to her condo. And a lot of people would tell me, they'd be like, it's actually kind of funny because they'd be like, oh, she was such a classy lady. And I'm like, yeah, now you all are stuck with me. Because my mother wasn't the t-shirt person that has, I'm wearing a funnel hacker shirt, which absolutely cracks me up today. So, but that's something totally separate because I'm doing a totally anti-bro marketing thing. And so and I'm very against bro marketing. Someone was so worried tonight. They joined in the group and they're like, I can't afford $97 a month. I'm like, that's okay. I don't require you to pay $97 a month. I don't require you to pay any money to be in this group. And that person was like so ecstatic because they've been in groups where they've like continued to pressure them. So I'm doing my whole theory is the total opposite. But it's the same thing with each individual thing. Claude is specific. She's the classy lady or the classy man, whatever, however you want to do it. He is a he in my head. So is Chat. But Chat is the lucky guy who's like, yeah, okay, we're going to go do it. Or like, whatever. And so just depends on who you're talking to. Now, for me, I think that I'm dual personality because there are days I am fully capable of walking into a very important dinner with heels on it. I will cuss a lot, but I can wear the heels and I can go into a very important conversation and be very serious and be very specific. then the next day I can be totally chaotic and like, I don't know, we do birdie shots at the golf course. So if you don't know what a birdie shot is, well, okay. My group, we have birdie shots, but we also have, if we're on hole 5, 10, or 15, we take a shot. And so I actually have little pre-made shots all in my cooler that we take with us. So, why do you guys think I actually go play golf every week? Multiple times. I mean, I have goals here. But here we go. Okay, we've got the series Bible is done as a doc. We have that. Look, it is over budget, but I'm okay on that. Golf's very exciting if you have fun with it. So this is the tone check on all of it. And let's see. Let's see what it did. It's a great retirement. I'm still not going up to the villages. All right. And it's written chapter 1. We have our little boxes here with the statuses for the lit RPG aspects of it. So you've got all of this stuff. I kind of like this. Now I want to I want it to just go. Okay, Jason, I love you. You know that. Um, I can tell you any of these communities are a cult. Seriously, this is the compound. I live in the compound. I do not leave the compound unless I have to go. Yeah, pineapples are everywhere. That has nothing to do with just the villages or anything else. And I know enough women that have been up to the villages that it's not necessarily always like that, or Lord help me. But they really enjoyed it too. So, but that's in all communities. But all of these communities are like that. This is like the compound. You are? Yes. No. Since when? My community is definitely. Oh, that's right. You're down in Naples. I'm not that fancy. We're next to a community that wants to be fancy like Naples. The buy-in was just too much for me. A total side thing. Their clubhouse thing had a men's. I wasn't allowed in it, even though there was no one there. I was not allowed to go in. But it was a men's club inside the clubhouse, and Joe actually walked through when we were looking over there, and he videotaped it because it was so. He was like, "This is just off the charts." It had its own bar, it had its own TVs, it had a huge locker room, and it had like massage area, it had steam rooms and all this other stuff. Oh my god, it was absolutely old school type men's club. Dark paneling on the walls, all of it. But does anyone have any questions about how this works? It is going through the whole thing. You can see here, this is my whole series Bible. It's got the whole thing listed here. This is all of it. It's all pretty. They made it very nice. I don't know why it's all brown. Mine are usually purple, but I'm not going to complain. But it's got all of this stuff in here already for you. So if you do that, I would put it I would actually put it right before you have, or when you tell it to write the book. What it did was it took somewhere in here. You would just do it right when you're writing the book. Tell it, this is my voice. Do it. It pulled from my stuff since I already have a lit RPG novella thing. It pulled from that. So I would have put like right here, when I told it to do it, I would have gone ahead and I would have said, here's my voice. Yes. So that's what I would do. Absolutely. And here I'm going to tell it just to continue writing because it's going to be off for the night. So I'm going to say, I like option A and complete the entire book. No stopping. Then run the editorial passes. No tracked changes. And complete the entire process. Yes, you do. I have one for each author name, for each pen name, is what you're going to do. All right, let me see here, somewhere around here. And let me see. There's that. And all right, does anyone need to see anything left on the screen before I say we shut that part down? Okay, I'm shutting it down. Does anyone have any questions? Nope. What's your question? And you're not a pain. If you're still in the group, you're not a pain. Promise. The only person that really irritated me was the one that I banned. It will ignore your voices sometimes. Yes. No, that's up to you. So when you run the author plugin, you do not have to tell it to do everything. Please don't. I'm doing it because I'm turning off my screen in a minute, and I'm going to come back tomorrow morning, and it's going to be a completed book for me. So it's going to give me something to look at, and I'll play with it, and maybe I'll share the book in the group. Pretty much it does. It may or may not. I honestly don't know. I don't know because usually when I do it, it's on my laptop and I can go around and do whatever else I need to do while it's writing, or I'll be doing a whole nother project while it's writing in another task. So when I do it personally, when I'm actually writing, I will have one project going where it's writing my stuff. And then I will be doing my marketing stuff in a whole nother project within the pages and everything else. So I don't know if this one's going to stay on track, to be honest with you. And so this should be interesting to find out in the morning when it's done. No, it does not continue to the right, though someone did say that hers did. I do not, this computer does not ever go to sleep. I just turn off the monitor. That way I can always access it. Yes, it will remember where you are. Just don't turn it off. Don't close it completely out. If you close it completely out, then it might get lost or it might screw it up. I'll let you guys know. I mean, I might post it in the group and you guys can see it, as this is what we built in this class. So absolutely. You guys have questions, post them in the group. This is a free group. It's free to ask 50 million questions. We have some amazing people. Some of them know more than I do. Some of them play with certain things more than I do. I've shared other groups that do different things. And no, there's so many people that are wonderful. There's another one that's going to be happening in a couple weeks, which is I think the next one is about the series. I can't remember. I have to look. But there's that. So this one will be, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Trust me. I will tell you that I ask a lot of questions when I'm doing stuff. So I'm hoping to release the Chrome extension within the next couple of days. Google has to approve it. So yeah, there's a couple that are 2 more of these. Yeah, there's always someone. You guys don't need to necessarily DM me the questions either. If you post them in the group, some of these people, they know a lot more. So, or they know the answer and I'm asleep. The Chrome extension actually will just show you what's going on in the group. Like, if you are VIP, it's going to show you what the last drop was, and it's going to show you what the next one is. It also shows you the next classes that are coming up. It also is going to show you the next drop days. If you're premium, it will show you the last prompt pack drop, the next one that's coming out. Again, the next classes that are coming up. And it's going to show you, again, the drop days. So I have that. The new group that I just set up today is actually to help keep you focused. And it is like for people like me who may or may not be neurodivergent. And it's got a Chrome extension that comes with that one as well, which is just do one thing today. If you are to do one thing in your business, figure out one thing. It is not author specific. So if you do another business, it will work for that too. So yeah, that's my new group, which will have like a low entry paid level, a free level, a low paid level, and then later on when I figure out how to do the CRM I want to do. Go for it. I got time for one more question before I really need to be done. Y'all don't, I wake up early, guys. This is like my midnight. So if you've got a full manuscript, could you run it against author and see if it's lacking? If you author lacking, or run it against your author voice, is that what you're thinking? Genre lacking? Oh yeah, you can tell it what you want. Like, okay, so I did a cozy mystery, right? Recently, and book 1 wasn't as cozy as I wanted. It literally, I said, please fix the voice. I did the voice author voice thing, and I said, based on this voice, fix it. And it did. So it's not always going to see it itself. You might need to read some of it and say, it's missing this. Yeah, it's more like with my dark romance things, I have certain things like Claude wants everyone to fall in love. My dark romance, no one falls in love. And it doesn't get that. It doesn't understand that concept. So I have to tell it specifically every time. There is no redemption, no love language. It's all about whatever it is. Like some of them are ownership, some of them are transactional. But there's never love in those books. And it doesn't get that. It just sees the word romance and makes everything romance. So, all right, guys, post your questions. The replay will be up and available, and I will see you all in the morning. And yeah, I probably will just post this book in there, and you guys can see what it does. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a great night. Thank you guys for coming.